What to do in the garden in September. September is the start of autumn, and we can see the garden slowing down. Some herbaceous perennials and annuals have finished for the summer. Others, such as roses, sweet peas, may keep on flowering. Exactly what is flowering and when depends on the sort of spring and summer we have enjoyed, but there is plenty of late color in the garden. Time to trim lavender. By September, lavender has stopped flowering, but the spent flowers remain on the plant. The advantage of pruning lavender in September is that it helps to keep it in a nice compact shape. If pruning is left until spring, it runs the risk of cutting into the new growth. Lavender should be pruned lightly, trimmed really, into a tidy and a compact shape for next year. It is best not to cut into the woody stems because they will not easily regenerate. Just a light prune. Plan spring bedding. Wallflowers are a lovely spring bedding plant with wonderful scent, amongst the sweetest scented of our garden plants. At this time of year, you can order bare-rooted plants, much cheaper than pot-ready and easier than seed. Give the plants a good soak and plant in a reasonably sunny position, and by spring they will be blooming away. I like to team them up with tulips, and this year, 2024, I've picked a combination from Sutton's of Harlequin mixed wallflowers and tulip firewings for a really bold spring display. Last chance to prune wisteria. Late August and early September is the last time to summer prune wisteria. Click here for a video on how to prune wisteria. This prune is to tie in any growth required for the framework and to prune out excessive growth, or long whippy shoots which are not needed or too long. The long shoots can be cut back to within half a dozen buds from the main framework. Pruning wisteria twice a year encourages flowering, and some years it may even produce a second show of small flowers in August. Time to think about spring bulbs. Autumn is the time for planting spring bulbs. It's best to plant daffodils during September, whereas tulips are best left until October/November. The correct planting depth is very important to keep them flowering. Too shallow, and they will not flower. An easy rule of thumb is to plant the bulb 3x, preferably 4x times its own depth. There are some great spring bulb combination. The planting depth is more important than when you plant. Deadhead to prolong flowering. It is still worth deadheading perennials and annuals, especially the late flowering ones. Depending on the summer, even annuals such as sweet peas may still flower, and to keep them going, continue to deadhead unless you want to collect the seed. The late flowering perennials, such as dahlias, will benefit greatly from continuous deadheading. Seed collection. Late summer/early autumn is a good time to collect seed if you want to use it next year. Collect seed heads, carefully shaking or scraping out the small seeds and store in a packet in a dry place. A sealed tin is useful. Moisture is the very worst thing for seeds, which need to be stored in a dry and cool place, such as in the garage or in a fridge. I sometimes add grains of rice to absorb any lingering moisture, or those little packs of silica gel which come with some goods because they absorb water. Lawn care. If your lawn has developed bare patches, this is a good time to seed. The soil is warm and we should have rain as we move into autumn, which will help the seed to germinate and get going. If pigeons or birds are a problem in the garden, cover with sticks or a net to stop them eating the seeds. Tomato care. Tomatoes continue to need a lot of attention, and it is important to water either daily or every other day depending on conditions, and feed regularly at least twice weekly. As the month moves on towards October and the plants are naturally slowing down, reduce the amount of watering and feed. When to do this will depend on where in the country the tomatoes are being grown. The growing season is longer in the south of the country. If the plants are still growing, they will continue to produce leaves, and it is important to continue to thin these down to encourage the fruit to ripen. As the fruits ripen, the vines will need extra support and ties. Using soft raffia is good as it reduces damage to the tomato stems. Still time to sow herbs and salad. In many parts of the country, this is the last chance to sow rocket and salad, and if the weather is cool, cover with a cloche to encourage germination and growth. This is a good time to replenish dried herbs. which lose their pungency after a period of storage. Ideal herbs for drying are oregano, sage, mint, and also thyme and rosemary. Although as hardy perennials, we can pick them all year round. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.